Hello, good morning. We are from Group 6 and we will present about phonetic and phonological features. So this is our member group. First is Alisa Zahra, second Aisah Dwi Krisnawati, 3 Nisa Mustika, 4 Monica Astria, 5 Nur Hidayati, and the last is Stephanie Margareta. Introduction. Speech sounds can be decomposed into a number of properties or features related to the simultaneous physical events or articulatory components. Let us consider the following sounds. First, sound P is produced by having the vocal cords open widely, raising the velum, and closing the two lips tightly. Second, sound P is produced by having the vocal cords closer together, causing vibration, raising the velum, and closing the two lips tightly for a while. 3. Sounds P and B are different each other due to only one or articulatory feature, that is the stage of vocal cord. 4. Sounds P and B can be said to constitute a natural class of bilabial oral stop, in that no other sounds share this particular set of co-occurring features. 5. Sounds P, B, and M can be said to constitute a natural class of bilabial stop, in that no other sounds share this particular set of co-occurring features. 6. Sounds B and M can be said to constitute a natural class of voice bilabial stop, in that no other sounds share this particular set of co-occurring features. And the next is a feature that distinguishes P from B is the feature of voice. It becomes the distinctive feature distinguishing P from B. A distinctive feature is a feature that distinguishes one phoneme from another. The backbone of the phonological enterprise is the phonological representation consisting of a series of phonological segments, each of which is a bundle of distinctive features. Let's see categorize distinctive features by Davenport and Hannah. The first is major class features have syllabic, consonantal, and sonoran. For consonantal features have voice, and place features have coronal and anterior. Manner features have continuant, nasal, strident, lateral, and delayed release. For vocalic features have high, low, back, front, tense, and ATR or advanced tone root. A natural class is a subset of the total set of phonemes that share a small number of distinctive features distinguishing the class from another natural classes. Natural classes are very important in terms of phonological regularities or rules. The natural classes may consist of any number of sounds from 2 to many. Typically, the smaller the class, the more features will be shared.
Okay, the second we want to talk about the role of feature in the phonology. So in the phonetic feature are more concrete and tend to have excess of feature. For an example, in giving the feature of place articulation of the sound, its place of articulation is in entirely from all others. And this for consider the feature of place articulation of the sound is we have 3 alphabet is B, G, and G. For B, we have the positively in bilabial, and in D we have alveolar. For G we have velar. Okay, we have some point for this. The majority of natural classes can only be classified by negatively. The negatively defined set typically do not need to be referred to when analyzing phonologically. So the objective of phonological analysis is to state through generalization about phonological structure as economically as possible. And the second, we have a phonological feature are more abstract and less phonetic. And so to express the feature of place articulation of the sound B, D, and G in the phonology, only two binary feature are used is that the plus minus anterior and plus minus coronal, or we can say the positively and negatively. For the positive anterior is sound are produced no further back in the oral tract than the alveoli. And for positively coronal is sound are produced in the are bounded by the teeth and heartlets. And the third point is C. We can see there are no unison combination of feature. In B, we have a positively anterior and negatively coronal. For D, we have a positive anterior and coronal. And for G, we have a negative anterior and coronal. And for the future theory is why I say future theory is important because the first is phenom is not unalizable or atomic, but it can be analyzed further. And the second is phonemic can be viewed as a bundle of simultaneous unit of phonological features. This for feature is ideally a binary attribute that is a feature that is either present for positive or absence negative in a specific song. For the example, a distinctive feature voice is point A is B, I, A, M are positively voice, and P, S, F are negative voice. And I will say about the according of Gingrich in 1992, phonological features are not the phonemes, are the smallest and most basic unit of phonological analysis. The function of feature, so as follow, the first is contrastive function or phonemic function, so must express the phoneme contrast of a language fully and economically. And the second is the descriptive function or phonetic function, must describe accurately the phonetic nature of the sound, and the last is the classification function, must define classes of phonemics.
Okay, the next topic we will explain about major class features. Major class features to distinguish the major class of speech sounds, consonant and vowels, sonorant and obstruents. We use the features syllabic, consonantal, and sonorant. The first we will explain about syllabic. These features allow us to distinguish vowels from other sounds types. Next. Partial sounds are sounds functioning as the nucleus of syllables, such as the A and I in rabbit. Members are, for example, I, U, E, A, and A. Not final sounds in battle and battle are partial. And then minutials sounds are sounds which do not function as the nucleus of syllables, such as R, P, and T in rabbit. And the next, we will explain about consonantal. These features allows to distinguish through consonant, obstruents, liquids, and nasals from vowels and glottis. Plus cons sounds are sounds involving oral structures of a less close approximations, such as p, l, and t in polite. Members are m, n, ng, p, t, b, d, g, if, t, s, sh, ik, d, z, h, I, Min cons sounds are sounds with structure more often than close approximations, such as the j in just. Consonant do this L, R, M, and N. This is a good news. It simplifies syllables where the schwa is followed by one the T sound. Let's start with the R consonant and sample word father. This is how it looks in IPA. The tongue position for the teeth is t, with the tip through the teeth. The position for the R is R with the tongue tip pulled back. The tongue position for the so is the tongue tip down, likely touching the back of the bottom from teeth. Uh, uh. But we don't have to put the tongue tip down into the position for the schwa between these two sounds. The R overtakes to schwa, so just straight from the position for the th to the position for the R, zr, not zr. If I tried to make to schwa, it would sound something like this: father, father. We don't want that just father, der, 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 father. So anytime you see the schwa followed by the r in syllables, just go straight into the position for the r. Next. Okay, the next we will explain about sonorant. These features allow to us distinguish vowels, glide, liquid, nasals from the oral stop, affricates, and fricatives. Plus, sounds are sounds showing a clear formant pattern, such as n, j, and in jus. Member are, for example, m, n, g, I, I, e, e. The sounds have phonetic contents that is predominantly made up by the sound vowels associate the voicing. Mean sounds are sounds showing the clear format pattern such as the and s in just.
Next, we gonna discuss about consonantal feature. This feature are to distinguish between those consonants that are associated with vibrating voice chords and those which are not. Plus voice sound is produced with a glottal settings consistent with vocal fold vibration. Members are, for example, it's m, n, g, v, d, v, and the others. And the minus voice is sound is produced without a glottal settings consistent with vocal fold vibration. Next. Next, we're gonna discuss about place features. First, coronal or core. These features are to distinguish sounds involving the front of the tongue, dentals, alveolars, and palatals from other sounds. Blade of the tongue refers to the part of the tongue that is, rather illogically, further forward than the front of the tongue. Plus coronal or plus core sounds are produced with the blade of the tongue raised above its neutral position. Members are, for example, its j, n, the, d, and the others. And the minus coronal or minus core sounds are not produced with the blade of the tongue raised above its neutral positions. Next. So it's anterior or end. This feature is to distinguish between sounds produced in the front of the mouth, which is labials, dentals, and alveolars, and other sounds. Plus anterior or plus end sounds are produced with an obstruction that is located in the front of the palato-alveolar region of the mouth. Members are m, n, p, th, b, and the others. Minus anterior or minus end sounds are produced without an obstruction that is located in front of the palato-alveolar region of the mouth.
And the next, we will discuss about minor features. The first one is consonant. This feature is to distinguish between stops and other sounds. Plus consonant or plus con sounds are sounds during whose production the airstream is not blocked in the oral cavity. Members are, for example, of, the, sa, and the others. Minus consonant or minus con sounds are sounds during whose production the airstream is blocked in the oral cavity. Next, The second one is nasal. This feature is to distinguish between nasal sounds and other sounds. Plus consonant or plus consonants are produced with the lower volume and the airstream escapes through the nasal cavity. Member are, for example, mah, nah, and nah. Minus consonant or plus minus consonants are produced without airflow through the nasal cavity. Next. And then is strident. This feature is to distinguish turbulent sounds from other sounds. Plus strident or plus strid sounds are produced with a complex construction resulting in a acoustically greater noisiness or hissing airflow than their non-strident counterparts are. Member are, for example, is of, here and the other. Minus strident or minus strid sounds are produced without such constructions such as the and the. Next. And then is delay release. This feature is to distinguish affricates from others. Plus delay release or plus del rail sounds are produced with stop closure in the oral cavity followed by friction at the same point of articulation. Members are only sa and ja. Mean delay release or mean del real sounds are product without such an articulation. Next. And the last one is lateral. This feature is to distinguish I from other sounds. Plus lateral sounds are produced with central oral obstruction and airstream passing over one or both sides of the tongue. The only member is the sound I. Minus lateral sounds are produced without such manner feature or vowels. The first one is high. Pulse high, body of the tongue raised above the natural position and the member of vowels and the consonants, as you can see in the screen, and mean high, the body of the tongue is not raised. Next. The second is low. Plus low, body of the tongue is lower with respect to the natural position. There are the member of consonant and member of vowels. Mean low without such lowering. Next.
Okay, the next about back. Plus back, body of the tongue is retracted from neutral position. Consonant, for example, k, g, n. For vowels, u, o, and the others. And then minus back is tongue is not retracted. All English consonants except the vowels are minus back. Next. Okay, the next about front. Plus front sounds for which the tongue is front from the neutral position. For example, I, A, E, and the others. Minus front, the tongue is not front. The specification minus back, minus front, characteristic central vowels such as E and I. Next.
Okay, and the next is round. The plus round is produced with rounded lips. And you can see the example of consonant and the vowels. And the minus round is produced with neutral or spread lip. Six is tense. Positive tense involve muscular constriction or longer sound. And the example is I, U, A, and E. And the negative is no constriction or shorter sound.
And the last one, we got advanced tongue root for describing West African and other languages vowels, vowel harmony. Words have vowel from certain sets and not a mixture of both sets. Plus ATR, the root of the tongue pushed forward, and the minus ATR, tongue root is not pushed forward. That's the explanation from our group. Thank you.